What's going on, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Living in Lex. And today I want to talk to you all about the top 15 things to do here in Lexington, Kentucky. I get a lot of you that reach out to me asking questions about Lexington and talking more about the city. And when you do get here, you wonder what are some of the things that you can do. And I want to talk a little bit more about that in this video. No one wants to move to a city where they think that there's nothing to do. Lexington has a lot of things to do, but where it is a little bit of a smaller city, sometimes that all those options tend to be forgotten about a little bit. And that's what I want to highlight in this video. With that being said, if you are thinking about making the move to Lexington within the next year, now, 2 years, call, text, email me now. Let's start talking about your goals. Let's work through those. I'd love to be able to help you in any way I can, even if you just have questions about the area. Think of me as a resource for your access. I'll leave my information down below for you to contact me. Feel free to reach out at any time. Keep in mind as we go through this video, there are a lot of things to do in Lexington. I'm a Lexington native. I've lived here my whole life, local real estate agent. I've tried a lot of these things that I have on my list, but the list isn't just limited to what I have. There's plenty of other things that I haven't experienced quite as much that there is to do in Lexington. So be sure you look up some of the other things to do in Lexington, but here are my top 15 things to do in Lexington. Now let's jump into it. Starting at number 15 on the list, I want to talk about the WAVELAND Historic Site, also known as the Joseph Bryan House, and is a state park here in Kentucky. It is one of the many historical homes that we have here in Lexington. WAVELAND is one of many of the historical homes that we have here in Lexington, and there are a lot of things that you can do at this one specifically. You can tour the mansion, visit the workshop, attend a Tea Tuesday, go to a baseball game, stroll through the bridges and playgrounds around the park, explore two of the beautiful herb gardens and gardening centers and hemp plot that they have, as well as plan a private event or tour at the park or grounds and barn. Other than those things as well, it really is just beautiful out there. I've been out there many times to enjoy the home, the experience of it, as well as take many family pictures, and I took my senior prom photos at WAVELAND as well. Coming in at number 14, we have the RAILBIRD Festival, which occurs every year in August at Keeneland. Think of RAILBIRD as a celebration of our way of life. I've talked a lot about how proud we are of our state and Lexington in former videos, and this one is no different. Lexington, being the horse capital it is, hosts this event out at Keeneland, the local horse race track here in Lexington. RAILBIRD celebrates music, bourbon, horses. Go watch a horse race, get a nice glass of bourbon, and experience some indie rock, indie pop, or indie folk. There are a lot of other music festivals and events that happen here, and this is one of the only events that I'll talk about in this video, but I thought this one was unique and kind of cool because it does celebrate so much of what we do love in Lexington. Coming in at number 13 will suit all of you shopping lovers out there, and that is shopping at the Summit at Fritz Farm. In 2017, Lexington opened what is now the premier shopping center in Lexington, and that is the Summit. What used to be the Fritz Farm is now 70 street-level shops, as well as 25 restaurants, many of which offer locally farm fresh food. Besides all the shopping and eating you can do over there, there's also some luxury apartments as well as some office spaces to be had as well if you're interested in that kind of thing. The Summit is right across from the mall on Nicholasville Road, and it really kind of feels like its own city once you're in it. It's busy sometimes and it can be tough to get in and out of places, but if you go in there, it'll cover a lot of your shopping needs as well as a lot of the higher end shopping that is in Lexington. At number 12, we have the Lexington Cemetery, and before you say anything about it being a cemetery, hear me out because it really is an awesome place. The Lexington Cemetery is a 170-acre cemetery that has existed since 1849. It's a national and public cemetery that is managed by a private, nonprofit organization. The nonprofit organization that manages the cemetery has really put an emphasis on maintaining and establishing beauty in the cemetery. The best time to visit the Lexington Cemetery is in the spring, because in the spring you can see an avenue of dogwoods, color crab apples, ornamental magnolias, and pink weeping cherries led to 16,000 blooming tulips and fields of spring beauties. It really is beautiful in the springtime, and I would encourage anyone that's here in Lexington in the spring to visit the Lexington Cemetery. At number 11, I have kind of a general thing that people should do here in Lexington, and that's eat at one of our local restaurants, if not many of them. Lexingtonians love supporting local businesses, and that's no different when it comes to the field of restaurants. Many of the restaurants here even feature a lot of the bourbon and horse themes that you see everywhere else in Lexington. They support local agriculture and locally grown products through their farm to fork programs where you can get a fresh meal. Lexington is kind of like a foodie's dream. It almost feels like you could eat at a new local restaurant every night and never run out of them. My personal favorite local restaurants in the area are Carson's, OBC Kitchen, Bourbon in Toulouse. There's a lot more, but I think you should just experience them for yourself. At number 10, we have another historical home featured here in Lexington, and this is one of my favorite ones, and it is the Henry Clay Estate, or Ashland Park. So for those of you that don't know who Henry Clay was, he's a U.S. attorney and statesman that represented Kentucky in the U.S. Senate and House of Representatives in the early 1800s. Main portion of this home was built in 1809, and Henry Clay lived there until he died in 1852. They've taken this beautiful estate and turned it into a park mansion that can be toured, walked at any time, and it's actually the centerpiece of the beautiful neighborhood of Ashland Park. I highlighted Ashland in one of my former videos about the top 5 neighborhoods to live in Lexington, and it actually ranked number 1, with the centerpiece of it being the Henry Clay Estate. So if you haven't seen that video already, check it out. There's a lot of helpful information on the neighborhoods here in Lexington. The Henry Clay Estate is actually another one of those places that I've taken pictures at. At number 9, we have one that I feel like people don't talk about a whole lot, and that's the Aviation Museum. The Aviation Museum of Kentucky is located at the Bluegrass Airport right here in Lexington. The facility has 20,000 square feet of display area, a fully equipped shop for aviation restoration projects, an office, a library, and a gift shop. The museum is not just a junkyard of useless aircrafts that no longer fly. Many of them have actually been restored and currently could be used today. Aside from them being a lot of aircrafts that you can see, they actually host kids camps out here where they can learn more about the aircrafts and a little bit about flying them as well. At number 8 on the list is one of my personal favorites, since I'm kind of a movie buff, and that's the Kentucky Theater. The Kentucky Theater is a local and historic cinema that is located in downtown Lexington, and it was established in 1922. It's owned by the city and managed by a non-profit organization. Many of the films that they show out here emphasize foreign, independent, and art films, although they will show many of the Hollywood blockbusters on occasions as well. Not only do they show movies here, but they host concerts and host live events here too. It's one of the last few remaining movie palaces here in the U.S., and for those of you that don't know what a movie palace is, because I didn't either, that's a elaborately decorated movie theater built between the 1910s and 1940s. Fun fact about the theater as well, there's actually a massive Lincoln mural painted on the back of it. At number 7, I have another general thing that anyone should do whenever they visit Lexington, and that's tour one of our local horse farms. Lexington is literally surrounded by horse farms. There's some here, there's some in the local areas, they are everywhere, and many of them offer tours of their grounds. You can even find some tour groups that specialize in taking you to several of them, and they highlight some of the individual history of these horse farms. That way you can see multiple. Claiborne Farm is one of my favorites here in the area, and it's located in Paris, Kentucky. Claiborne Farm is actually the burial ground of Secretariat. Many of you probably have heard Secretariat before. Secretariat was the 9th Triple Crown winner. And if you don't know what a Triple Crown winner is, that's like the highest honor and award that you can get in the horse racing industry. Fun fact about Lexington, many of the roads here are actually named after famous horses, one of which being Man o' War. At number 6, I have a location that offers many things for you to do, and that's go to our local distillery district. This is a 25-acre lot that began as the James E. Pepper Distillery that began in 1879. However, in 1958, the site was abandoned and left untouched for nearly 50 years. 2008, local entrepreneurs teamed up to bring this location back to its former glory. It's since been revitalized and has become one of the coolest places to visit here in Lexington. Today at this historic site, you can find 2 working bourbon distilleries. It's an easily walkable area filled with food and drink offerings for everyone to enjoy, maybe above the age of 21. My favorite things to do are grab a beer and a pizza at Goodfellas Pizza, and then walk over to Crank and Boom Ice Cream to top off the evening. If you know anything about Lexington, then number 5 won't be that much of a surprise to you. And at number 5, I have attend a UK basketball game. UK basketball is the pride and joy of athletics in the state. We don't have a pro team, so we really care about our college athletics here in Lexington, and UK basketball, with its rich history of winning and culture that they have established there, it is really the centerpiece of what we love in athletics here in Lexington. Kentucky actually holds the record for the most NBA draft picks picks of all time, sitting currently at 128. We sit second in national championships with 8 national championships, only behind UCLA's 11. This rich history of winning was established by Coach Adolph Rupp, who coached the team from 1930 to 1972, and the arena that we play in is actually called Rupp Arena in his honor. Rupp Arena is one of the loudest and most crazy places that you can experience a basketball game. Many of the people that come to watch a UK basketball game would even say that it's wilder, louder, and more fun than an NBA game too. At number 4, I have the last historical home on the list, and that's to visit the Mary Todd Lincoln House. I hope you know who Mary Todd Lincoln is, but if you don't, she was the wife of the 16th President of the United States, Abraham Lincoln. The home finished construction in 1806 and became the Todd family home in 1832. We are very proud of Abraham Lincoln here in Kentucky. For those of you that think he was born elsewhere, we claim him here in Kentucky. He's not from anywhere else. He's our president. You can't have him. And the Mary Todd Lincoln House is no different. It's just another showcase of our pride for him and her. At number 3, I have what might be one of the most beautiful things that you can do here in Lexington, and that's to go to Raven Run. Raven Run is a 734-acre nature sanctuary that is located just outside of Lexington. It borders the Kentucky River, and it's a great place for hiking and wildlife viewing. There are more than 10 miles of trails here that pass through meadows, woods, and streams. There are also over 600 species of plants located here, and for all you bird watchers, there's more than 200 species of birds that are here throughout the year. There are numerous remnants of the early 19th century settlers of Kentucky there too. The park does have a lot of rules, and its best use is likely jogging or walking on the trails. They don't want pets, bikes, or drones there, all to preserve the natural environment. There's a lot of other rules there as well, and you can find that all on the Raven Run website. At number 2, I have something that almost everyone should do during their time at Kentucky, at least try a little bit of it, and that's experience the Bourbon Trail. Kentucky and Lexingtonians love bourbon, and for those of you that don't know, more than 95% of the world's bourbon is produced right here in Kentucky. Most of the Bourbon Trail consists of a triangle in between Lexington, Louisville, and Bardstown. The closest distilleries to Lexington, which is the ones I want to talk a little bit about since my channel is more focused on Lexington, are Town Branch, Woodford Reserve, Wild Turkey, Four Roses, and my personal favorite, Buffalo Trace. Buffalo Trace is actually where they produce Blanton's and Pappy Van Winkle, and for those of you that don't know, this is actually where the Pappy Van Winkle bourbon heist occurred. Bourbon and distilleries make up a huge part of who we are here in Lexington and Kentucky, and that's pretty obvious whenever you go around to restaurants and stores. So if you're in Lexington, living in Lexington, touring a distillery is definitely something you need to do. The last thing that all people should do when visiting Lexington, and it should come to no surprise to anyone that knows anything about Lexington, Kentucky, and that's go to Keeneland. Lexington is the horse capital of the world, and this is the local racetrack located right here in the area. Keeneland is open for race days in the fall and spring, which is usually October and April. Race days are a lot of fun. There's something about spending time with family and friends, getting dressed up, betting on horses if you like that kind of thing, and maybe having a few drinks while you're there. Keeneland is not just good for its race days. There's a lot of other things that you can do. I would really recommend the tours and the gift shop as well. Keeneland is full of rich history that any Lexingtonian or anyone visiting Lexington should enjoy. That concludes this video of the top 15 things there are to do here in Lexington. Again, this is my personal top 15 favorite things to do in Lexington. I've done pretty much all of them. I kind of know what I'm talking about being a Lexington native and local real estate agent. If you're in the area, I would really recommend experiencing those things, especially some of the top ones that I talked about. I hope you all enjoyed it. Again, I get people that are asking me about Lexington every single day, and that was kind of the purpose of this video. I wanted to educate you all on all Lexington has to offer. There's a lot of other things, so if you want to learn more about Lexington, you want to move to Lexington, or just get to know the area, feel free to text, call, email me at any time. I really love it when people reach out about the area that I live in and am from, because I love this area so much, and I want to help you get here, move here, and learn more about this area. Also, if you like the content I'm producing, be sure to press the subscribe button and the little notification bell down at the bottom. That'll help me continue to put out more content about Lexington and all the great things that are in this area. That was my top 15 things to do right here in Lexington, and I'll catch you next time on the next episode of Living in Lex.